Good ink back here. Bringing you guys something a little different today. Giving you guys some of my favorite plays from today, February 26th. Just a couple guys I'm really high on. Have about three this video, and a couple quick hitters at the end that I think can be a bit intriguing. If you guys like these plays, like these videos, go ahead and drop me down a like, subscribe down below. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter. Link in the description if you guys want to, get at me there. Without further ado, let's go ahead and hop right into this. My first guy I'm really high on here is Zach LaVine. Currently has the highest over/under with tightest spread being 1.5. So that's a great game environment for fantasy points, as we've been seeing all throughout the season. Uh, Ever since he's been coming back from injury, it doesn't look like he's been skipping a beat. Averaging about 25 minutes a game. Shot attempts are up as usual, getting up about 17. And as we all know, he can contribute in almost every category, especially with the rebounding and assist. And with this game being in a high scoring and fast paced matchup, I believe he can chip in on some defensive stats as well. What really got me intrigued about Zach LaVine here is his teammates are in a little bit less favorable matchups. We know out there in Chicago, they have a big three: Vucevic, DeMar DeRozan, and Zach LaVine are basically the guys that are going to go out there and score the points for the team. And with two of those other guys being in a little bit of neutral to bad matchups, I think Zach LaVine can have a little bit more points and fantasy points funneled his way. We know Memphis is pretty good against bigs. In Vucevic's case, they have Steven Adams, who's very solid down low, along with the big, tall power forward and Jaren Jackson Jr., who's great defensively as well. So I think Vucevic is going to have a bit of a hard time down there as well. And surprisingly, DeMar DeRozan, even though the recent tear has been on, has been struggling quite a bit versus Memphis recently, and they're a little bit of a tougher matchup against a small forward slash power forward spot. Um, in his last three games versus Memphis, DeMar DeRozan has only been averaging 28 points, and with his most recent game, also only scoring 28 points against the same Memphis team. With him playing power forward, he's gonna have to go up against a lot bigger of a guy in Jaren Jackson, who's about 6'11", with DeMar only being 6'6". So it's definitely a little bit taller wingspan, and we know Jaren Jackson's no defensive slouch as well. And meanwhile, we have Zach LaVine over here, who has the best matchup for any shooting guard over the last 5 games versus Memphis. We've been seeing countless guys go off against them. Most recently, D'Angelo Russell put up a nice 52 bomb against them the other night. And even on a larger sample size, he has the fifth best matchup for shooting guards over the past 15 games. So overall, just a nice spot for Zach LaVine. And I think DeMar DeRozan's due for a bad game here with the amazing tear he's been on. Next guy here, Scotty Barnes. Uh, Again, another great game environment. Tied for third best over under on the slate at 225 with another tight spread of only 3. So again, another great environment. This is where we see our fantasy points being brewed. Came in last night, no OG Anunoby. He's going to be out for a while with a fractured finger. So again, he's going to be out tonight. That allows Scotty Barnes to slide over into the small forward position, away from his usual power forward position. So that should secure some more minutes for him with the gap being in the lineup, and also increase his usage on both the offensive end. Last night they played a bit of a blowout, well, a big blowout. He still got good minutes, 32 minutes in a blowout last night, but saw an increase in that usage and those shot attempts that we were looking for with him sliding the small forward. He had 30% usage last night with 18 shot attempts, which is the big jump from his 15 to 20% usage rate that we've been seeing all season, and in his usual range about 10 to 14 shots a game. So definitely a nice increase for him being at the small forward position and having OG Anunoby, one of their scorers, out. He's been a guy that's previously in the season been getting most of his points from a bunch of peripheral stats, a couple assists here, a couple rebounds here, a couple steals and blocks here. So just a culmination of all those kind of gets him in his 30 to 35 range. But with his newfound offensive increase, that on top of his ability to rack up peripheral stats, he has an immense ceiling, especially for a guy who's coming in at under 6K. And that's something we saw last night with him putting up 28 real points and 38 fantasy points. Also was mentioned at the time he uploaded his video, Fred VanVleet and Pascal Siakam are listed as questionable. So again, that'll open up some more offensive workload for him and some more playing time as well, making this play even better in my opinion. And that may open up some other guys for Toronto for us, such as maybe Chris Boucher or Fred VanVleet. So definitely a situation you want to monitor. And again, another guy in a great matchup. Atlanta, again, is the best matchup for small forwards of the last 5 games. And even with the larger sample size, they're still the fourth best matchup for small forwards. My third guy here, we previously mentioned him. Other side of the Chicago-Memphis game, which again is the best game environment on the slate. We have Jaren Jackson Jr. This guy has been sneakily great in games that have been non-blowouts. This team has been involved in a lot of blowouts. Most of them handing them out, but sometimes getting them on their own. But in these non-blowout games, he's been playing at least 30 minutes, putting up at least 15 shots a game. And on top of that scoring output, for a guy at 7.1K, he also has immense defensive upside. There's games where he's racking up multiple blocks a game, sometimes even touching 6 blocks a game. So that, on top of his already high output in the scoring department and rebounding department, again, gives him immense upside, similar to Scotty Barnes. And with all those shot attempts and all those defenses, he's been averaging about 40 to 50 fantasy points a game. And that obviously will get him over that value that he needs to hit at 7.1K. And again, this game should be close, as Vegas has it only at a 1.5 spread, so he should be easily safe to hit that 30-minute mark. The only thing that kind of holds him back, besides the blowout, is the foul trouble. And he may run into that with DeMar getting to the line a good bit, but let's just hope he doesn't tonight. Not a top matchup numbers wise, although we do know that Chicago isn't the best versus power forwards. We've seen some guys go off against them in recent times, but it's a very bad matchup physically for the Bulls. We have Jaren Jackson Jr., as I previously mentioned, 6'11", going up against a smaller DeMar DeRozan at 6'6". They're kind of forced to match up DeMar against him. If they try to put another guy, Javonte Green, on him, who I believe is smaller than 6'6", to get another nightmare. And they can't really slide over Vucevic on him because they have Steven Adams down low as well, who's another near 7-footer. So, and I also don't think they're going to bring a guy off the bench like a Tony Bradley to kind of bang with Jaren Jackson. So it's definitely going to be a nice mismatch all night for him. So those are my 3 favorite guys, and I have a couple quick hitters at the end to kind of just guys that pique my interest. They'll think about a little bit. First one, we have Jared Allen, surprisingly coming in below 7,000, so simply too cheap. Going up against a weak Washington front court. And this is a team that just came off this is a back-to-back for them. Came off a double overtime game, so some guys might rest. Some guys just might be gassed. So definitely a nice opportunity to take advantage of a guy that's simply too cheap in a good spot like this. Also, another guy I'm slightly intrigued about, Danilo Gallinari. John Collins has been out recently the past 4 games. Danilo has started in all 4 of those games, but only getting 30-plus minutes in 2 of those. The one game he got 30-plus minutes again is against Cleveland. As we all know, Cleveland plays a lot of forwards. Danilo's a bigger forward himself, so maybe he got the more minutes to kind of battle that height that they were facing in that game. Because the only other guy that gets minutes in that spot would be Bogdan Bojanovic, who's been playing about 35 minutes a game. And then the most recent game, he got a nice 30-minute game out of him, and that was due to DeAndre Hunter going down, who only played about 12 minutes. And in each of those 30-minute games, Danilo's been getting about 17 to 18 shots in both of those and been averaging around 30 fantasy points. So definitely a good output and upside for a guy at 5K. The only thing that's really holding us back here is the safety of those minutes. We're not too sure if he's going to get those or not. From my understanding, DeAndre Hunter is listed as probable right now. He left the last game due to injury or due to illness. So looks like he's going to play tonight. So kind of a GPP play here, but if he certainly gets the minutes, looks like he'll certainly do well. It's going to wrap me up for my plays here. Nice 5 guys here. Definitely guys will be playing. Let me know if you guys are going to play any of these guys as well. We're definitely going to come back here and see how these guys did after tonight's slate. If you guys like these plays, go ahead and drop me down a like below. Go ahead and subscribe if you want to keep seeing me pump these out. And go ahead and drop me a comment if you like these guys. If you don't like them, so let me know what you think overall. And I'm out.